So this morning we are going to make this breakfast that I saw another YouTube mom make. I can't remember exactly who. I think it might have been in the Fall Food Friday collab. But I saw that you just use some cinnamon rolls, you flatten them out, and you put them in the bottom of a baking pan. You chop up some apples, and then you drizzle all with caramel, and then bake it. And I believe it was just kind of baking it as the directions from the pan. Of course, I'm too lazy to go look up the real recipe, so we are going to just wing it and hope for the best. So we gotta get these apples chopped up. I'm gonna remove some of the peel, but not all of it, because it's more work. And besides, the peel is what's good for you, right? The fiber? I don't know. This is not the best knife for this, but I don't want to make more dishes, so we're just gonna make it work. These apples are really tiny, but also I'm only using one roll of crescent dough because there's only 4 of us and not everybody loves sweet breakfasts, but I do, and I'm making it. And if you're like me, you can just throw them off to the side where your dog is anxiously awaiting you to drop something. I'm going to chop these kind of small because the biscuits or the cinnamon rolls don't take that long to cook. They take about 13 to 17 minutes. And my oven definitely cooks things a lot faster than the directions. It runs very hot. So I'm going to make mine fairly tiny because I want them to cook all the way. Not be too crunchy. Now, it also said, I forgot, I just remembered, they're supposed to coat these apples in cinnamon sugar, so I'm just going to sprinkle it on right before I toss them into my pan. Meantime, whoop, let's get these cinnamon rolls into Did anybody else notice that these don't almost ever pop when you do it? So you get all anxious and nervous, ready for a pop, and then it never does, and you have to bang it on your counter. See, I did the whole thing. It didn't break. There's hardly any wrapper on there. So now we anxiously bang it on the counter. Cover your ears. Oh, be out. Oh. One whack is all it took. This dog, you guys. Sorry for all the clicking. He is a beggar. I did spray this pan before we started. And I'm going to put these on my cookie sheet, but you're supposed to kind of smush these down a little so they cover up your whole pan. I'm making sure the little cinnamon pockets are on top best I can. Of course, these are going to poof up bigger. I may have too many. Let's see. And then you could use the little frosting that comes with it, but our family eats lower sugar. So this is already a super high sugar breakfast. So I think I'm just going to stick with the caramel syrup and leave that out. I'm sure it would be even more delicious, but take what we can get here. kind of want to fill in these big gaps. So I think I have 2 left. And I'll just kind of fill them here, and then I can tear this last one into as many pieces as we kind of need. I don't want there to be big holes for my apples to fall through. I mean, this is my kitchen. Things don't usually work out when I just wing it, but it's so early in the morning and I don't want to get out all and dig up our recipe. I'm just trying to go by what I remember. All right, that's a fairly decent covering of our pan. So I'm gonna rearrange, get this crazy knife out of the way. Pull our apples back out. I'm just gonna, I dropped some apple peel. Sprinkle some cinnamon sugar on here. Just a tad, because cinnamon rolls are already super sweet, you know. Zhuzh it a little. Just a little zhuzhing. Sorry about that. The oven's preheated and ready to go. That was pretty excellent timing on my part. I'm proud of that. Nothing's worse than thinking you preheated the oven and then just you didn't. So you're gonna put it in and you're like, all right, now I could either wait another 20 minutes or what I always do is just turn the oven on and toss it in early and hope for the best. And nobody got time to be waiting all day for that oven to preheat. And you screwed up. All right. I'm gonna spread those out now that I'm looking at it more. That's beautiful. Actually, it doesn't look anything that special, but I'm hoping it tastes pretty good. All right, my hands are disgustingly sticky. I'm touching everything, but all right. Now, I mean, you could be light-handed on this, or you can go to town. Caramel is one of my top favorite foods. Could be a food group in my world. All right. Heck, you can even add more later. Gosh, this is like diabetes for breakfast. All right, you guys, we got everything accomplished. We're gonna go toss this into the oven at 350 for 13 to 17 minutes. And we will be back when when it's done, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, if you haven't seen my lemon cookie recipe video, I'll show you again an example of what I do. So I have some scraps, and sometimes I throw a few pieces for the dogs, and sometimes I don't, just kind of depends. But what I like to do is take the peel and the cores, just kind of scrape it into, I save this rickety pan that's all scraped up, and I just toss all my peels of different fruit that I have, and make my own potpourri on the stove. So it kind of uses your things up. This time I'm just going to do this tiny little bit of apples and some ground cinnamon, and we're gonna fill it up with water and let it simmer on low all day, and your house will smell, well, mine is gonna also smell because I'm making an apple breakfast dessert, but it will smell even more incredible. Even if you can do this, even if you're not baking, you know, you just cut up an apple for your kids or whatever, or yourself, and you don't like the peels, which my kids are a little picky sometimes, so I like to do this with my scraps and have a beautiful smelling home when you walk in. Just an added bonus with something you were most likely going to toss. Oop. You don't need much cinnamon, but I really like it when it smells like apple cinnamon in here. So, just a teeny tiny bit of apples, a little bit of cinnamon today, because that's what I have. We're going to fill it up with water, and we're going to get it simmering on the stove all day. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is done. Now, my direction said 13 to 17 minutes, and my oven runs really hot. And it took a little bit closer to maybe 18 to 20 minutes, I would say. But definitely keep an eye on yours. Everything looks and smells delicious. It does kind of look like it needs that frosting. So, I mean, it would make it look more pretty to put the frosting on. But I make the rules in this kitchen, and I'm going to skip it. Because there's a ton of sugar in here. So we are going to dive in and eat this as like a breakfast dessert. And wait for the potatoes to get done, and maybe I'll make some corned beef hash or something. But I got up way early this morning before everybody else. So, lucky for them, I made a fancy breakfast. Woo, woo. Who has 2 thumbs up and is amazing this morning? This mama right here. Whip. We're going with caramel.
So sweet. I'm gonna eat water.
Just a little early morning
I feel like I can't
goofiness.
feel my throat.
That's just how our house is. Every day we do something just, I don't know, just goofy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're goofy here. If you enjoyed that, give this video a thumbs up, and I hope you subscribe and you can see what other goofy, crazy things we do. Not just in the mornings. We like to jump out and scare kids. We just love to laugh around here. So if you love laughing and having a good time, I hope you will join our Home Sweet Homes family. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.